Hello, everybody. Hello, it's lovely to be going live again on Instagram. Very nice. Thoroughly enjoy actually being online with you all. Very much enjoying, looking forward tonight to having a conversation with the lovely Lynette from the Mindful Me team. Just waiting while we make a connection with each other. It's really interesting and fun when you first start off trying to see if we've made the connection to call each other up online. If you haven't done it, you'd be quite surprised how interesting it is when you first start off. So here's hoping that that's worked and that Lynette will join us and she and I can have a conversation together. That's what I'm really looking forward to. It's been a while since we've seen each other, interestingly enough. It's always absolutely lovely to make the connection with each other, especially if we just have to do it like this. So whilst we're waiting for her to connect with us, to come on right now, I can tell you that we're going to talk about some of the wonderful new offerings that Mindful Me have coming up. We're always trying to find new workshops that we can present, new ways of helping us to connect with you and us to connect with each other. Let me see what's happening here. I'm struggling to find Lynette and connect with her right now. Let me see if this works now and see if she can come and join us. Otherwise, I'll be chatting to you and we'll try it again. Here we go.
Hey, love.
What happened? I tried and tried to connect with you and you weren't there.
I know. I'm so sorry. I logged in and it said I was coming and then I wasn't.
Well, here we are, and it's lovely to see you. I was just saying to everyone, it feels like a while since we connected last, that we work alongside each other, enjoy each other's company hugely, and don't get to see each other at all right now.
I know, we don't. I know. So this is lovely, getting to see you and be with everyone all together.
Well, I think I was just saying to everyone, what we're going to do is talk about the new offerings we have coming up. In particular, we're going to talk about the new offering that we have coming off the back of the last wonderful 3-month workshop that we did together. And didn't we love that? Didn't that work incredibly well?
It was fabulous. It was so gorgeous. And there were so many people that wanted to take it and actually take it again, that we're actually offering that entire 3-month series starting in April. It was so lovely.
So it's called How Can I Truly Love Myself? And we began it with the first month. Lynette was doing all the teaching and teaching about a piece that's really close to your heart, isn't it? Because it's the training that you've really enjoyed doing over the years. So tell us the name of the new workshop that's coming up. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so this new workshop is actually kind of an expansion of the first month of How Do I Love Myself. So the new workshop is about relationships, attachment, and mindfulness. So it's going to be just a bigger, deeper, richer dive into our attachment systems, into how we're in relationship with our friends, with ourselves, in our intimate relationships, how our attachment systems affect all of that. That the ways that we bond when we're little kind of create a template that we carry with us our whole lives. And we're going to just really learn all about ourselves, about our own systems, about our patterns, about how these patterns show up in relationships, and how we can really use them for our benefit, for our own enrichment, instead of kind of being held hostage by them.
And you know, the intriguing thing about all of that, Lynette, is we know that when we're working with people from a mindful perspective, we're helping them to deeply understand what's going on inside of them. And it fascinates me that when you ask someone where you think their patterns originated, how long they've been doing a particular a way of being that's unknown to them, why they struggle to partner with themselves or reach out to. No one actually really seems to understand and know it. It seems to be the land of training, and yet we who are in relationship to ourselves don't appear to understand.
Mm-hmm.
That's what
Yeah,
it's about, really, isn't it?
it is. It is. All of our attachment behaviors, both when we were little and the ones that we are still carrying with us now, they're our first language of survival. So, but we don't realize we've learned this language, right? We don't have awareness of it because we learned it so young. And usually when the only way it shows up is when we are in relationship.
Yeah.
So if we're single, we think we're fab. We are securely functioning people. We're great. We're ready for our relationship. We know what we're doing. And yet often we find ourselves in the same relationship with kind of the same flavor of patterning, that we attract the same kind of people. Um, and there's a lot of stories around this, right? Like, I always get ghosted. I always attract the broken boys. I always attract the needy ones. And there's a little bit of truth in that. But if we bring that mindful awareness to where it's coming from and why it continually arises, then we can make better choices for ourselves, for our hearts. Both if we're single, this is information that would be very, very useful to have before we engage in another relationship. And if we're married or we're in a long-term relationship, the issue there is the language of survival is also the language of attachment. They run on different systems. But because they both, well, let's say this, our brain, our prefrontal cortex, this huge noggin that we have that requires so much energy, novelty doesn't stay novel very long because it can't. Like when we learned how to drive, if you remember when we learned how to drive, for those of us who drive, it took every effort of our being, every fiber of our being was like, this is where the key goes and this is how and my hands at 10 and 2. But then now a lot of us drive and we don't even recognize we've made it to work. It's just, it's embodied, right? And that's great because we couldn't survive if everything took every fiber of our attention. So we have this gorgeous brain that puts things into procedural memory as quickly as it humanly can. But what that happens is we do that with our relationships too. We fast track them into our long-term memory. And then we think we know our partner, we think we know ourselves, we think we know why they're doing it, and we know how we feel about what we think about they're doing.
Yeah.
But again, that's all our attachment. It's all bringing awareness and mindfulness into the relationship will alleviate so much suffering, both for single
It's
people.
like, isn't it interesting? It's like getting a warrant of fitness before you know that's okay. So it's like getting a warrant of fitness for a relationship, isn't it? And I've often thought that, way back in the day, we used to do a kind of a warrant of fitness for people who were engaged and going to get married. But nowadays, that just doesn't seem to be the way any longer. So this,
Yeah.
in many ways, is our way of doing that, of maintaining good relationships, both with ourselves and others, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
bringing mindfulness and awareness to it. So tell us the basis of what we need to know about when this is happening.
Mm-hmm.
It's for the month of March, isn't it? And it's only going to be 9 Tuesday evenings in a row. It's starting on the 9th and it's going to be 4 Tuesday evenings in a row. Yes?
Correct. 2 hours. 2 hours. We're just going to do a deep dive into the kind of the neurobiology of relationships, our own attachment systems, and how those two things intersect. So it's going to be very, very steeped in scientific, because as you know, as a librarian, I want the science behind everything. But then it's also just going to be very playful and goofy and experiential and fun.
Well, if you're doing it with us, it has to be goofy, experiential, and fun. When I
Exactly.
think about it, that's some of the wonderful comments we had back from the last workshop, that people
Mm-hmm.
really enjoyed that part too. It
Yeah.
begins on Tuesday, the 9th of March, and with
Mm-hmm.
absolute clarity, let us say it will be on Zoom. So you can do this from the pleasure of your own privacy. We make it easy. And the way that you sign up for it is get in touch with our lovely Alfie. And
Mm-hmm.
Alfie's details are available on our website, on our Instagram account. You just need to send an info@mindfulme.me and say to him, I watched the lovely Nellie tell us about this new workshop and I want to do it with her. Please, can I sign up for it?
Oh,
Yeah?
we'd love to see you there. We're absolutely delighted. What's also starting a little bit sooner than that, which I'm wildly excited about, is the Mindful Me Book Club. So,
Isn't that a beauty? So this is one of my pieces of treasure that I've been wanting to do for such a long time. And I really honestly can't work out why we haven't done it before now.
I know.
Well, I think it would have been that my joy would have been we meet together in person, but we're also going to do this on Zoom. And we're going to do this for the month of March on Monday evenings. So we're starting this coming Monday night, which happens to be the 1st of March, would you believe, already. This
I know.
coming Monday night. And it's going to be like this. We're going to use this little book. It's only a little book. It's quite thin. And it's called If Life is a Game, These Are the Rules. It's written by a wonderful woman called Dr. Cherie Carter Scott. I first came upon it about 25 years ago, and I love how it's just as alive today as it was back then. It actually is a wonderful way of